Breaking news. Good evening, viewers. We are live with a breaking news report. A wolf took the stand today in his own defense. This shocked and stunned the media, who predicted that he would not testify in the brutal double murder trial. A wolf is accused of killing and eating the first little pig and the second little pig. This criminal trial is expected to be followed by a civil trial to be brought with the surviving third little pig. The case has been characterized as a media circus. Let's listen to this testimony.
Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story.
Name?
I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong.
I see. What makes you so sure?
Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault. Wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pigs. That's just the way we are.
Can we stick to the story, please?
If cheeseburgers were cute, Fox would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is wrong. The real story is about a sneeze in a cup of sugar.
Way back, and once upon a time, a wolf was making a birthday cake for his dear old granny.
I had a terrible sneezing cold.
He ran out of sugar.
So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar.
Now, this neighbor was a pig.
And he wasn't too bright either.
He had built his house out of straw.
Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw?
So, of course, the minute he knocked on the door, it fell right in. He claimed that he didn't want to just walk into someone else's house.
So I called, little pig, are you in?
No answer. He was just about to go home without a cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday cake.
That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, while I huff and I snuff and I sneeze a great sneeze.
The whole darn house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail.
He had been home all the time.
It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw.
So I lit up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there.
He was feeling better,
But I still didn't have my cup of sugar.
so he went on to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother.
He was a little smarter, but not much.
He had built his house out of sticks.
I rang the bell on the stick house.
Nobody answered.
Mr. Pig, are you in?
Go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving my hairs on my chin. He had just grabbed the doorknob when he felt another sneeze coming on.
I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze.
You're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down, just like his brother's.
When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doormat. Wolf's honor.
Now you know, food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open.
So I did the only thing there was to do.
He had dinner again.
Think of it's a second helping.
He was getting awfully full, but his cold was feeling a little better.
But I still didn't have the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake.
So he went on to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother.
He must have been the brains in the family.
He had built his house out of bricks.
And knocked on the brick house.
No answer.
I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little pork answered?
Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again.
Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack of sugar.
And he wouldn't give him even one little cup of sugar for his dear old Gladys' birthday cake.
What a pig!
He was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when he felt his cold coming on.
I huff, and I snuff, and I sneeze once again.
Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin."
Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy.
When I drove up, of course, he was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time, he was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene.
The rest, as they say, is history.
My partner and I found out about the two pigs he ate for dinner. We figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting.
So they jazz up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made the big bad wolf.
That's it. The real story. He was framed.
But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar.